Welcome, one and all. Welcome, guys. Welcome to our podcast, Below the Belt. Who vex lose? Who vexes is you face? You vex, you vex. Today's Thursday, and if it's Thursday, we're talking about the state of the region. And in particular, we're zeroing in on Region 7. That is where they just had this big visit. But you're fun. So we got some things to talk. A couple of folks will be joining us, like Judy Finance, our co-host. She's right here, alongside yours truly, Sherrod Duncan. And we got the Region 7 Vice Chairman, Kamal Prasad, is going to be joining us as we break things down for you. Welcome, folks. Let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. Jurita, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you guys doing? I see you there, Leticia Barker. How are you guys doing out there? It is always a pleasure to be with you.
Indeed.
Below the belt.
I feel the same way.
Relaxed forum.
Such a privilege to
can
be with
say.
Vanessa Ward and Marlon King, Letitia, and all the other guys. Such a privilege.
I see is Magnell Barrow is on
Yes,
right
Magdalene
now.
always there. Magdalene always there.
Magnus is a cloudy day in Brooklyn.
Oh yes. I feel cloudy today, Magdalene. I feel like that weather.
You know.
But God, happy you're here,
I
Magdalene.
gotta send Sherrod off. I gotta call Mrs. Duncan and send Sherrod off. He
Please
sounds like
do.
he
Please
sounds like
do.
he needs some TLC.
Please do. Call Mrs. Duncan for me. I need her.
I will.
I need her. Oh, I need her every hour.
You see, I think the appreciation does
Look,
grow with
Trevor,
time.
Trevor Calendar is joining us from New Haven, Connecticut. Try that.
Lovely, lovely.
Proper place. New Haven, Connecticut.
Winston Henry
Welcome.
is on also. Hey,
Welcome.
Don.
These are the people who allow us to say welcome to our international podcast because they call us from around the world. They
They
join
are
us from
everywhere.
around the world. They're like rice about the place. Multi in the house. Where is Multi? Is it school?
Multi. The
Okay.
only multi I know is the multilateral secondary schools. I see Pamela Fontanelle there, multi in the house.
Yeah.
Which multi we talking about? Which one of the multi guys? Asani
This one,
Bowman.
it's a place.
Hey Asani, how are you doing over there?
Over where?
Asani is supposed to be.
Lemon be today.
Asani is supposed to be from the Republic of Linden, but I
The
think he has
Democratic Republic.
migrated from there.
Oh.
He's somewhere else.
Oh. Migration?
Yeah.
Huh? People don't run
Asani,
from
what's
that.
going on?
That's what they say. Valerie Thomas. Good to have you, Valerie.
And I see Marlene also.
Oh, Marlene is
Sherry
so kind with her words. So kind.
Baskin Greenwich.
So kind. Thank you, Marlene.
Trinidad in the house.
We there.
What's going on in Trinidad? As Sherry would ask, did you guys fall apart this year?
Yeah. Predictions. Prophet of Doom. Thanks, Raphael Trotman. Prophet of Doom.
Yes. You just made a speech pop back into my head.
Yes.
That great statement there from Mr. Raphael Trotman in National Assembly there.
Yes.
I see a marvelous Thursday to share the Durrett and everyone comment from Hazeline King. How are you doing? Stacy Ann Stoll. Christine Figuera, how are you doing right now? I see Christine is saying good afternoon, watching from Linden. Oh, the Figueras in Linden. The Figueras are mighty, mighty name. Happy to have you with us, Paul Rogers. Paul Rogers, where are you joining us from today? I know Don Cook, let us know what's going on the west side. And then Glenda Beaton. Hey, Glenda, how are you doing? And Jenny Booker, how are you doing, guys? I see Rachel Wolfer saying good day to everyone there. And Desiree Manuel says visiting Texas, very hot. Desiree, you out and about. You're not playing. And we have, of course, guys, if you don't know by now, we have Edward Gonzalez from the Bronx, always here, very, very diligent. And I see Pops Archer. That's Robert Pops Archer for you guys. Robert Pops Archer, phenomenal family member of the podcast Below the Belt. Donna Liverpool. Hey, Donna. What you doing? And Simo Williams. How are you guys? Is it Sandra Blair saying good afternoon, everyone? Linden in the house. Linden people assemble. Quite a few of you out here this midday. I am seeing you, Roxanne Odessa Jacobs. How are you doing? What's going on? It's rain and sun in Trinidad. Hey, Carl, I'm noting that. You know, when we were kids, they used to say something about rain and sun. I can't remember. You guys need to remind me. What did they say when it's raining and the sun is shining at the same time? Remind me of that. I see you, Valerie Thomas. How are you doing out there? And Bernice Bob Carter saying good day, guys. It has been quite an amazing week thus far. Let us see how it's going to turn out. Let us hope that we go into the weekend with some sort of vigor. You know what I say? With all the negativity around us, all the struggles we have to endure, we have to do it to our best, make sure that we do everything in our power so that ourselves and our families will be in somewhat of a better position to the best of our ability. It's tough days, we understand. It's very tough days. Inflation rate sky high, salaries way low. We know what's going on out there. Absolutely no incentives from the administration to fix any of that. But I'm saying that once we have life, there is hope. And we are going to continue to do everything in our power. And we implore that you continue to stay as well as you can be as we continue to fight to make sure that everyone has a better life. Lynette Jacobs says, I am present, Mr. Duncan. Yes, Lynette. And I see, is it Nicola Tumblr is here with us? Nicola Unique Tumblr is here with us. Hey, Marlon Simon, what you doing, Marlon Simon? And Stanborn. Stanborn said, boom, we there, we there, we there. I think I just added an additional one. And Nicole Campbell. This is the most interesting comment that is coming from Nicoletta Campbell. Says, share it like Ali felt the bell in your chest. Funny, funny. Listening from work is you to London. And I see watching from West Side. Elizabeth is watching us from the West Side over there. Naomi Drucker, the devil, and his wife fighting. Yes, Naomi Drucker. I think that's what they used to say when it was rain and sun at the same time. The devil and his wife fighting. Yes, yes, yes. And Selena Fraser. That's the thing. You know, we kind of when persons are understanding my type of language, you know, shared, I feel some sort of good way about it. I feel the age. I feel it
That's
coming
how
on.
things are sometimes, you know.
Jumbie and his wife fighting, says Valerie Thomas. Oh goodness. Yes, yes, the devil and his wife fighting. A lot of persons are saying that. Oh goodness, Stephen Collins, you out on a different tangent with that comment. Okay, I'm not gonna repeat.
Like I want
Pansy
to say,
Fields.
I missed it.
No, I can't read it. I missed it
Sherry
today.
Ramjian is watching from Pennsylvania. Did I see that?
I'm not sure. I guess you are
Sherry
seeing right.
Ramjian.
And Stan Bourne, you know Stan Bourne says rock and come in.
We coming, Stan, we coming.
Yes.
Rocking steady. Rock steady, easy. Steady rock,
Did Ali
easy.
felt a bell in your chest?
Something was pelted. Something.
Oh goodness, guys, you probably right on the money right
It was
here.
a little flu or a little COVID or something. Something was pelted. We can
Something they
return
pelted you.
fire. We
You gonna
can't.
return fire.
We cannot say things will not be pelted, but fire will be returned.
So, Carl is having a most interesting comment here. Carl, you know, Carl Ford, he don't play. Carl is having the most interesting comment. Carl says, on Sunday the 19th, there will be blackout across Guyana.
Oh yes. Whole day, 24 hours. Watch it. You know, Carl is seafar. Carl is a seafarist.
Carl
You seafar.
different. Carl, you different.
Carl tell me if he's seen any lotto numbers. I can do it a good lotto.
You know,
It's a
if
winning
we do
numbers.
have blackouts on Sunday, I'm going to be calling Carl
Carl is
to
seafar.
checking on these lot of numbers indeed.
8 p.m. Saturday, folks, and showtime. Get for sale.
And I think I am encouraging persons to have some watch parties, you know.
Hmm.
And we need to send us some invite, watch party invite, Guyana for sale watch party
We might
invite.
just have a watch party.
We might as well. We might
just
as
have a watch
well.
party. Maybe tweeting and going on and all that.
I see Daphne Aaron is saying, hello, Sheridan Giretta. I am right here watching
Hello,
from
Daps.
Plainfield, New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
Very cool after the rain.
Plainfield is a lovely place.
Yes. Shared has
It was
touched
lovely.
on in many, many areas. I
Yes.
think I have actually beat him to the punch when it comes to local travel. I don't
Let's
think
push my
there's a
body.
place in Guyana that I haven't been. So
Let's push my body.
I try to touch down everywhere. You know, a lot of persons actually travel overseas and they've really never traveled this country. Well, it's pretty expensive. Let me just start by saying that.
It is.
So Hilbert Knights is on. Hilbert Abiva Knights. Hilbert had a very
Yeah.
interesting comment
And we're going to be
online.
talking about some
I
of that
think
too.
I'm going to be reading your comments
We're
out
going to be talking
in
about some of that
depth.
too.
Hilbert. Hilbert is from Bartica. Folks that don't know
I
Hilbert,
hope Hilbert
stalwart up there.
sends that off to the press as a letter to the editor.
I hope
It's a
so. I hope
fantastic piece.
so. Yes. And he's saying lemon, ginger, and garlic works well, Sherrod. This flu got to
Thanks,
go.
Hilbert. Thanks. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
I can beat it out of you.
Yeah, yeah. However, it's coming out.
You know this is what is it?
It's coming out.
I
Money Crow
can't-
Broom. You gotta
Yes, that
Same
I
thing.
couldn't remember. I couldn't remember.
I know what takes. I know what takes.
Say it again. What's the word?
Money Crow.
Money crow, bro.
Money Crow Broom.
So,
They take out anything.
anything,
Take out
anything.
cheap man. Take out sweet woman. Folks, it's just coping. We make it like the situation. Coping mechanism being deployed. Countermeasures.
A man spoke about that, you know.
Yes.
That's
Countermeasures being deployed.
Guyanese have
Colonel Heidekin, I see you
unique-
there. Paul Hawkins, Kim Walker, Gladstone Matthews, Winella Garnet, we see you as well. Magna Bar always there.
listening. I see you listening. Calling
Good times are
Alexander
bad.
said, get yourself a cup of ginger
Oh,
with
yes.
garlic and turmeric for your stomach, Sherrod. It will bring up the mucus. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
I have heard people going to somebody to mix up some
I want ya
concoction to give them a
I
good
want ya
vomit.
kill me that, you know. Suppress the nature.
Oh goodness.
What's your outside this right now? I want ya suppress me that, you know.
Marilyn Thomas said,
Comfort, my love,
Sherrod
comfort.
and Joretta, you are needed in Region 10. Can't say I didn't say to you guys to go visit Linden Hospital Cooperation LHC.
Yeah.
Marilyn, we know it exactly what you're saying there. We know that we're gonna be taking some
Yeah,
we're going to be putting some work into what you're saying there to see exactly what else is going on there.
yeah,
But as far as we know, once Mr. Not So Small is on, we're going to be getting
yeah.
a lot of issues there.
Correct is right. Correct is right.
I
Correct
see
is right.
Don Sullivan watching and listening, Gladstone Matthews.
Novella, Noble again.
Yes.
I see Margaret Morris is here. There's a whole pack of people. Sabina Jacobs is here. I always love the name Sabina.
Sabina, I had Sabina in my class. I'm
Yes.
quite an amazing young woman. I think she's at Ministry of Finance.
Oh.
Absolutely amazing. So
Mhm.
very brilliant young woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'll tell you a thing or two.
I
Pamela
know we had
Sanchary-
quite
Sanchary.
a good batch at the university.
Oh, yes,
And I went to
apparently.
UG, you know.
Oh, you didn't drop out second
And
year.
I did not.
Because Nathan.
I did
You went
not.
through.
I went through.
You finished and you graduate.
Twice.
As the way things should be.
Bachelor's
way
and
things
masters.
should
Before some way, so like I graduated twice in the same.
Oh,
Let me
Clarify.
clarify
clarify.
for
clarify.
clarity. I see Selena Fraser
Clarity.
is there. I think Selena
Yes, all the way
is
Canada, you know.
yes,
Selena, we love
sending
you.
love from Canada.
I feel that, Selena. I feel it.
Yes,
I feel
I
it.
think Sharon needs some virtual hugs, people.
Yeah.
Virtual hugs need to be sent to Sharon Duncan right now.
I feel
Well,
like my system backing up. I need a Karen.
Your system, when your system backing up, what are you supposed to do?
You're gonna blow out. Blow out the system.
Oh goodness.
Jelly's Booker, we see you there. Jelly's and Robin Leander, Colin Alexander, we see you as well. And Jelly Abrams, we see you. Good to be with you folks. Rain or shine, in sickness and in health. we
all
outside.
the time, all the time.
We outside, peoples. We outside. We there. Good to have you folks nonetheless. I see Selena sending some hugs. I receive it. Stacy and Sol, we see you.
Sure,
Latoya D'Souza.
Baskin. I see you.
Rennie Lord.
You know, Latoya D'Souza, a little extra. She is sending hugs and kisses from Bartico.
Mm.
Man, Latoya, were you at the meeting yesterday? Did you go and as a business person there to the meeting in Bartica yesterday? Let us know. You know, Latoya is quite someone not to hold her tongue at all. She let people have it. Like if she doesn't agree with something, she says it. She's never afraid to let her voice be heard. So let me know if you went to the meeting yesterday.
Let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what we're talking about today. And we're going to be joined by Division 4 Vice Chair, Kamal Prasad, who's going to wade us into these murky waters of the Ifranali Visitor Region 7. The promises made and the things that
Latoya
delivered
said,
thus far.
never, never. Latoya is
Oh,
different.
don't come on, you funny like
Don't come around and
that.
tell you funny. Never, never. You know,
We
I did
apologize.
ask two persons to go. She said I can't before let me just get back that comment. I dismissed that. Okay, she said I can before and again on the same time. You know, I think Latoya has had quite a bit to say when it comes to the Speedboat Owners Association and the fact that they were trying to install an IMC at that level, something that she spoke out very heavily on also. So no one can come and tell
Correct.
her they have the best interests of Bartesians at heart when that is the reality on the ground. A lots
Wow.
of nonsense going on there, so she's not about to have that pretentiousness
Correct. She's
come in
right.
her face.
She's right. She's
Yeah.
absolutely right. Absolutely right. Don't come around we funny like that.
You know, on that same matter, I know.
Alicia Motilas says empty promises. I agree.
Oh, absolutely,
I agree.
absolutely. But you have to keep them at task, you know. So I made it my duty to make sure that I did not miss any of the comments. Make sure that I did not miss any of the comments that was coming out altogether.
Alia says we outside Sunday night. Vice News hashtag. I
Mm,
give it to you.
mm, mm,
We
mm.
outside like that. We can be doing something Sunday night. A watch party after. Something we can be doing. Yeah, we can't wait till the day after. Something we can be doing.
Paul Rogers is joining us from Savannah, Georgia. You know, this is international as it
Yeah,
comes.
yeah, yeah. Karen, welcome to see you. Ceci and Stole. Glycis Mingo Burn. Savage Rizal, we see you as well.
Savitri said, sure, your voice don't sound good.
Oh, Savage, you're too kind. You're too kind. You're too
Oh, the
kind.
kindness, the
Yeah,
kindness. You can't
yeah, but you're
complain.
absolutely right, Savage. I hear it myself.
You're
You're
hearing
absolutely right.
yourself.
But we gotta keep pushing forward.
Hey, Claudette Clark. Claudette is there, you know.
Yeah, thank you, Claudette.
Glycis, as you say. I think Sharon and I call your name so many different ways. So,
Who? Glycis?
yes, I
Uh,
say Glenn says sometimes.
Glycis?
Listen, I beg your forgiveness.
Let's just say Big G. Big
Mingleborn.
G. Big
That's the only
G.
part I get right every single time.
Bella Mona, how are you doing? Good to see you, Bella. Really good to see you. Happy you're here.
That is correct. That is correct. Sheen
Yeah,
Hazel. I see you
yeah.
there, Sheen Hazel. Guys, we're gonna be joined very shortly by the
Regional, but
VC
yeah. I was going a
of
long way.
region number 7,
I was going a long way.
Kamal Prasad. You know, we can go some long ways,
Regional
but we
Vice
just
Chairman. He went to VC
I just went to
right away.
VC of region number 7, you know,
Yeah.
Kamal Prasad. That's going to be speaking a little on what transpired there yesterday, and I saw I'm going to be noting some of the comments that I've been following online, and my own comments will follow through with what happened and the nature of the visit and the way in which it was structured.
Yep,
And
yep.
absolutely nothing surprising to me. I could have written it down step for step, stage for stage, and that's how it played out. Exactly how I assumed it would.
Yep.
You know the
Yep.
people that you're dealing with, when you know these
Yeah, you
people,
have the problems out there.
yes, you know them.
You know the tadpoles and the
Of
cricketers you're dealing with.
course, of course, of
You know that.
course. I've been in I've been in politics for some time also, so I understand very acutely
Yeah.
what to expect from them also.
Are we going to take Kamal?
Yes,
We're
we
going to
need.
invite her into the studio. You might hear a little ringing, folks. We apologize in advance. You may hear a little ringing, but that's only because we love you.
Yes, we need to have this
You're going to hear a little
information.
ringing. It's only because you guys are loved. We want you to get good audio, so you got to Suffer the ringing for a little while. Let me see if we get the best of Kamal. Good audio.
Good afternoon.
Vice Chair, very good afternoon and welcome to our international podcast Below the Belt. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Sherrod, and I hope you're feeling better.
Coming
Hi,
to town.
Joretta. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all the listeners.
Hey, Kamal. We are here and very excited to go into this bit of conversation. I am very particularly interested in everything that had transpired yesterday, and I know that this is Bardica. This is our home. Everything that happens in Bardica concerns us all. So we definitely want to dissect what happened, and particularly what residents of Bartica is saying about this. And I've been noting some comments. I've been reading on social media. I know Hilbert made a comment here that we're going to go through and all of that. But let me know first of all, from your standpoint, how did the residents? I think
Let us make sure the folks are hearing Kamal very
yes.
well.
Let's do that
Guys, are
first.
you hearing Kamal clearly? We don't want any of the juice Kamal coming with. The juicy things
Hey,
could be
y'all.
lost.
Hey.
Let's know you're hearing Kamal clearly.
I see before Kamal even get into it, I see Latoya D'Souza is saying, Sherrod, I am inviting you to Bartica. What is taking you so long? Come,
I'm
let us
coming.
talk the things.
I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming.
So
I'm
Yeah.
coming.
Yes, please do come.
I'm coming.
we're gonna
Tell
have
you.
our own town hall meeting.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Yes.
I think the folks are, yes, they say loud and clear. From Toronto,
Great.
they're hearing you telling Toronto, Kamal. So
That's good
loud and
enough.
clear.
And I see Roxanne Garway from Bartica. Roxanne, how is it going there? Did you attend any of the meetings yesterday? What was your take on the things that were said there? Kamal,
Yes, I'm here.
great.
You ready to hear from me?
Yes, everybody is. We all are. Let us hear what is going on, what
Well,
transpired.
first, I can say how disappointing it is to be an elected, duly elected with valid votes, official of this region, and not given the simple courtesy of having a formal invitation or formally being informed that the president of Guyana would be visiting this region, particularly Bartica. So, how disappointing the
Wow.
disrespect of certain offices. It's loud and it's real, and that's what's happening.
Wow.
Nevertheless, I'm not so bothered about that because ultimately the people of Bartica, the people of Region 7, they're not impressed with promises. That's the bottom line.
Mhm.
After 23 years, Joretta yourself growing up in Bartica, myself, and not even having access to the basic health care at a professional level where women had to travel all hours of the night in a boat to get to Georgetown just to have a cesarean section,
Mhm.
having deaths due to health issues that could have been easily resolved
Mhm.
right here at the regional hospital. So the people of Bartica are not impressed with the promises. And I support the fact that people went out to hear for themselves and to know what is going on. Like we always say, an informed citizen can make informed decisions, and it's good to listen and to be very involved in what is happening in their communities. So that for me, I have absolutely no problem. People have a right to be informed. But again, the people of Bartica, the people of Region 7, they're not impressed with promises. And what actually took place yesterday, it was a lot of promises, a lot of things being said. I was hoping that there would have been something of more structure, announcement to really
Mhm.
cushion this high cost of living, us being in the inland, farther away from the coastline, particularly the public servants who still receive the same amount of money like those in other regions, Region 4, for example, Region 3, but things are more expensive on this side. I was hoping that there would have been a big announcement of a nice, decent increase in the salaries. I do believe that the public servants might have had that expectation as well, anticipated that something good is coming since Guyana is earning so much revenue from the oil and gas and other natural resources that it is producing.
Mhm. But I know, and I have to think. I did note that there was a video, and anything that pertains and concerns Bartica, particularly, I pay keen interest in, and I do note that there's a video on social media. I think uploaded probably an hour ago. It's a 45-minute video of some statements and requests that was made from residents of Region 7 there yesterday, and the responses given by not other than Fernali himself. And I took my time to go through every aspect of that, because that's how I am. I always go and I dissect the information, every bit of it. And in doing that, one of the most interesting thing I found was that in that 45-minute long video, there was only one resident from Bartica that was speaking, that
Uh-huh.
spoke in the entire 45 minutes, one resident of Bartica. And I noted the other persons, are persons from the other communities, more indigenous communities and so forth. And we have to, I know Central Bartica per se, and there was an attempt yesterday, and I addressed it, to create an illusion that Central Bartica, as persons have always known, had are the support base of the APNU AFC, and there was an attempt to create an illusion that has somewhat dwindled or something like that, and I had to address it, and I had to say that is not the case, and persons need to have the understanding about the geography of the region altogether, and how that was done yesterday, and the fact that persons came from all the riverine communities to be there. And not only that, when it comes to the capacity, noted that the schools were used on a very large scale to build up numbers and all that. But that's the least of my concern. Um, the main things that I'm looking at is the haphazardness of the promises that was being made. On this, it's something that we have been tracking. We continue to see it in every region, and I don't see any difference at this point in time what happened there in Bardico. Oh, this is something that oh, we're going to look into it. Oh, I'm going to get on the phone, I'm going to call the bank. Like, there's absolutely no structure. It shows a failure in the system. It's an indictment on the administrative aspect of their under their stewardship. And I don't see how they don't see it in any other way. How is it that you can get on the phone and make a call and fix something, but persons have to wait until you are physically there to get it done? What does that say about your administrative staff that you have within those regions? So I found it very haphazard and very reckless, to say the least, the manner in which things were being transpired and what was being said there yesterday.
And I have to agree with you. As a matter of fact, I wondered if this trip was just a hurry up trip. And then I saw some statements, some quite interesting statements coming out from the United States of America and so forth. And I wondered what was the influence behind of this visit finally, um, because basically it was a visit. I was listening to hear what are the long-term plans and
Correct.
short-term plans, what were the policies, how they intend to have consultation. I know there was an announcement of house lots to be given out, or houses to be given out to teachers. What mechanism, what is the strategy, or are we going to have the same kind of chaos that we had with the cash grant that was given out, the COVID cash grant? Will things continue to be done in that manner while we welcome every development? Like
Yep.
one resident said to me that she has been waiting to get a piece of land, and she's a single parent, so that she can build a home so herself and her children, she's paying rent, and we know that rent is something that is high in Bartica. And she
Extremely.
has applied over and over again since even the now president was Minister of Housing.
Mm, 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 mm.
So it is interesting that we have these promises and big announcements, but then how really, what is the strategy? What are the
Mm-hmm.
plans? And how do we intend to get these things done to the benefit of the people of this region,
Correct.
particularly if it's in the township of Bartico, the residents of Bartico benefiting directly from these development. So that is a major concern of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think Hilbert um, Facebook post captured one aspect of what I spoke about on this very podcast a few days ago
Mm-hmm.
when it came to people being fired from their jobs.
But actually,
And,
I actually want to
and
read a bit
Hilbert
of that.
captured that quite nicely,
Mm-hmm.
that any right thinking, anybody that can read simple language would understand what is happening.
That is correct. Well, allow me, Kamal, to read a bit of what Hilbert had posted on his Facebook page. And ladies and gentlemen, listen to the podcast from in Guyana and around the world. This is Hilbert Knight is a resident of Bartica, has been a resident of Bartica all his life, a stalwart in his own being. And I want to read some of what he said. He said, a friend.
And, and then the integrity of this gentleman is unquestionable.
Yep, very, 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 very much
And
so, Kamal.
every resident of Bartica would know that, and even those from far, far out of Bartica.
That is correct. So, guys, this is about. I know, from me personally, Hilbert Knights would have taught me in secondary school. He was a teacher first, and then he moved on to a different section of employment. But I want to read what he said on his Facebook post, and he said, a close friend drew my attention to a statement attributed to the president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Dr. Irfan, who intoned that the PPP government has delivered and will continue to deliver based on its manifesto promises. He says the current government, who inauspicious beginnings coupled with its maximum control ideology has inflicted hurt and damage to a section of the populace whose interests and values, principles and morals, political, ideological positioning, among others, are vastly different. The president's message of deliverance in one Guyana
Yep,
will
yep.
certainly be conceptualized differently by those of us who felt the blunt of what the president deemed promises delivered. Bartica, in past times, boasted as being the melting pot of respect, integrity, appreciation, understanding, oneness, and peace, among other attributes. Like the gunmen who shattered our peace on the night of February 17, 2008. Many lives would have changed painfully after August 2nd, 2020. The PPP government unleashed on us financial genocide in the form of dismissal on those deemed to have supported the
Wow.
previous government. This is only cause. Isn't this a human right?
Wow.
The right to associate. As far as my memory gives me guidance, this never happened here before. Truth be told,
Yeah.
those removed here were honest, fair minded, hardworking, and people centered, community minded. There is no hatred in any of us. We
Mm-hmm.
all we endeavored to do was to serve the people of region number 7 with distinction. Was this part of the promise, Mr. President? We were employees with families, financial obligations, children in school, and personal aspirations. We were not given any alternative by the current government. In my case, I received a call to leave immediately.
Wow.
How do I embrace your one Guyana vision, Mr. President? Hilbert Knights is asking there. when your administration showed no care for my welfare and by extension the welfare of my family. There must be a prevailing healing atmosphere where all are treated equally before any form of oneness can be birthed. And the irony of the situation, Mr. President, is none of the created vacancies were filled for 2 years.
Wow.
Regional administration, region number 7, Guyana Gold Board, Bartica branch. Our record of work and commitment to country are crystal clear. Judged by those means, one Guyana under the prevailing circumstances, no. When all resources are accessible to all Guyanese, despite ethnicity or political suasion, yes, that is when you can say that. And I have to say, absolutely true, every single last word I embraced there by Mr. Hilbert Knights on that post.
Richard, just before Kamal jumps
Yes.
in, I feel it when Hilbert talked about being asked to leave his job immediately and other folks like him. And it's even more hurtful to know that the Guyanese people would have had to suffer because nobody was able to fill that post for almost 2 years.
Yep.
You know, but it tells about the malice. It tells about the wickedness of the people who come now, and as Hilbert has done very beautifully, as Kamal said, laid bare this whole ideology of one Guyana. Kamal.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, and every single word that Hilbert wrote there, it's the reality of what is happening. And the oneness of this, the illusion of the one Guyana, it's an illusion because it cannot be achieved by just taking pictures and hugging and having different ethnic groups
And singing in the rain.
present at at venues and say, look, we embrace diversity and we are one and so forth. It can, however, be achieved with the practices and how you treat every citizen. May I add that the professionalism of many of those individuals that were fired is unmatched. They're untarnished
Correct,
individuals.
correct.
I can say prior to that, a lot of persons that held certain position um, are are not of the best when it comes to how things were done. If you do recall and you pull up how the Gold Board Bartica branch was closed down
Correct.
over a big scandal, I know no proper investigation or anything came out of that.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2015 or 2016, when the Gold Board branch of Bartica was reopened to the convenience of the miners in this community and surrounding communities, they feel safer doing their business. It's accessible. And that is what you were seeing being done in Bartica. Previously to this Ali administration, you might not have heard or seen a lot of headlines with promises.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be the first to admit President Granger and his cabinet has erred, had erred in ways, yes, but ultimately the work on the ground was being done. Coming back to oneness, that is why the Ministry of Social Cohesion
Yes.
was established,
Correct.
right? So this oneness that we speak about, it will not happen until every citizen is treated fairly. And in Hilbert's post, he captured it because himself facing the bluntness of the discrimination
For no
and the ripple
reason.
effect of what it brought on to him and his family and so many more like him.
Correct. Correct.
There was no
Correct.
reason to dismiss him. There was no allegations.
None at
There was
all.
no corruption.
Hmm.
A man who served professionally. And every section of Bartica will agree with that.
Every
Every
section,
section.
everybody.
It's only those that will stifle their conscience. And as we are seeing that is happening more and more, people are fearful of being discriminated. So they choose to remain silent,
How sad. How sad.
right? And we have to fix that.
How sad.
If we're going to talk about creating or having or uniting Guyana and every Guyanese citizen being treated fairly and given equal opportunities,
Hmm.
then we have to work. We have a lot of work to do.
Correct, correct.
You talk about development, the second largest region in the country, the biggest budget, and yet still you see a cut in the figures, the amount that was proposed and the amount that was approved.
Correct.
And guys, there's no need for me to say to you, you do your research, find out for yourselves, educate yourselves. Then you decide who's really out there peddling lies, or common sense will tell you. You want such a big region to develop. The far flung communities, upper Mass, middle Mass, services after how many years? No water, no electricity. Who are we going to blame?
Mm-mm-mm. But you know, Kamal, one of the
50
things.
something years and counting, with an administration that was in power over 2 decades prior to the APNU AFC taking power in 2015.
Mhm.
And you have so many communities that don't even have a decent health center that can administer basic drugs for sicknesses that is plaguing those communities, such as malaria, dengue, and so forth. How are these communities going to develop if there are not adequate money allocated for the infrastructural development and the services to be provided?
Very well.
One of the things, Kamal, I want to touch on a little bit is the fact that since 2020, with the PPP administration being in power, there have not been anything done really in Bartica. And I want to note the point that they have been there to Region 7 to commission things more than once since they got into office on in 2020. But I want to remind the persons, especially folks joining us from Bartica, that the things that they went to commission are things that was done on the APN UAFC administration. And one of those very projects was the construction of the magistrate court up there, you know,
The
for
solar farm,
the solar farm. And I noted one of the comments from one of the residents there. One of the residents, I believe it was from Dog Point, was making reference to the solar farm and was thanking President Ali for this solar farm. And I have to point out, I
that's
mean,
the vision of the coalition government that was implemented under the
exactly.
coalition government. We are happy for
Good.
development.
Happy for
But
development.
give credit where it is due.
Exactly.
I was hoping that the visit yesterday, some big announcements with plans,
Yep.
especially for the second half of the transports and harbors filling, that
Correct.
part that is
Correct.
left there.
Yes.
Imagine that's the entrance to Bartico.
Hmm.
We're in 2022. Come on, you got a job to do. Get it done.
But the thing is about that is that
It's an
prior
eyesore.
prior to 2015, it was the state there, no one was the PPP administration was not concerned about that at all, and it was a coalition administration that actually was dealing with. But I have to speak about the fact that also I know the two show there from Cara also was speaking about the fact that they have a sawmill and so forth. Another initiative and project that was carried out by the APN UAFC administration there. So, you know, it would have been nice for
Well, I was at Cara when the water well was commissioned with
Thank you.
when Dr. Vadras Charles
Mm-hmm.
had gone to Carrow, and I think for the first time, the people of Carrow um, was able to enjoy good, clean water
For the very
provided by
first time.
Guywa
For the very first time. For the very
for
first
the
time.
very first time. Yeah,
And
and that was the job that was given,
mm-hmm.
and the work was being done.
Correct, correct. So a lot of what persons are, and people need to look at it. And I want to point out some other things. I want to point out the fact that on the from 2015 to 2020, during that period in time when the coalition was in office, when it comes to health care in region number seven, particularly with the hospital there in Bartica, the service there, it had improved tremendously. And I was speaking earlier this morning on the morning program FYI about the fact that the theater was operational to the point that women, pregnant mothers, did not have to travel down in the dead of night to come just because they had to have a C-section to deliver their baby and all of that. All those things were
And other
functional there.
complicated surgeries were being done right at the Bartica Hospital after the improvement took place in a short span of time. I do believe that it went from having 2 to 4 resident doctors to the total of 16 and counting
Correct.
within this short space of time with specialized pediatrician, gynecologist, dermatologist,
Yes.
and so much more services
The
being
ice, the CT scan.
accessible.
The CT scan was there. I was noting that the CT scan has not been working. Also that the river ambulance that was put in place under the coalition, I was getting reports that the river ambulance was not working for a while. Also, the boats that was transporting the school children under the coalition, I was getting reports at one point in time. I'm not sure if it's still like that right now. The boat was submerged on the water and all of that. These are the things that
Not
affect
forgetting the
persons.
bus.
The bus, of course, yes.
Mm-hmm. If you truly care about people, then you would put policies in place that people don't have to beg,
Hmm.
become beggars in their own countries for the
Hmm.
basic,
That is correct. That is correct.
and this is what these cash handouts are creating because they're not sustainable. They don't truly improve the livelihood of the majority of Guyanese.
Hmm. Well,
They're not long term.
the truth of the matter is, and I'm going to probably ruffle a few feathers when I say this when it comes to the handouts and all of that, but even with the COVID grant that was sent to the various indigenous communities, even for that, even in some of those communities, and I know that the people are going to understand fairly well what I'm saying, the even the Toshao that was elected by the people in some of those communities had no say in who got those monies, had absolutely no say. And the Toshao was actually directing people to the PPP's political representative in the community for that person to decide whether or not they got the benefit of having that $25,000.
Very, very sad.
But
Very sad. And
that is a
that's a
fact.
breeding ground for discrimination. That right there is a breeding ground for corruption. If you don't have proper systems in place, then you're creating a wide open door for corruption all around.
That is correct. That is correct. I think one of the things that was absolutely clear, one of the things that was indisputable yesterday was that everything that was said there was added to the list of things to put as an indictment on the administration for the lack of proper management and stewardship of the resources of Guyana right now, because apparently everything had to be written down, like nobody ever knew before that these were issues that were being had. Persons stood up there and they talked about things that they asked for in 2021 and so forth, and they're giving persons a
Mhm.
reminder that don't forget them on this matter. And so, and then people, the things that were being asked for altogether shows that these people honestly believe that they have to go and stand in line and beg for a handout because the system, they are convinced that the system does not work. And that was what was proven there.
And what you're seeing through some testimonies on social media, what parents are going through in terms of going to schools and being asked to donate and to have these items, monies sub to buy the items that would make the school more comfortable for both teachers and children. That also shows that, the system is not dealing with the issues at hand. Government schools, parents should not have to be buying fans and all of these things at this point just so that their children can get an education.
That is correct.
And parents are feeling the squeeze because, take for example, Jaretta, I know you have two school age children, but for some parents, they have three or four or even
Correct.
more.
Correct.
And when they're going to various schools and when they're earning, the salary is already so low, thin, it's stretched out so thin, you're struggling to provide and pay the bills and keep the children fed. You're struggling with everything that is happening around. Parents losing who've lost their job, not being able to benefit in any way to
Mm-hmm.
increase their earning power to have a better life. And
Mm-hmm.
then they're faced with all of this, and this is what is happening all around. I wanted to show, as I mentioned, if you reach a certain government, as soon as you reach as far as the gate, somebody's already asking you for passage money or drink money because the money that they're earning cannot adequately offset their expense.
Yes, and one of the things, you just
And
said
what
that.
is the plan to cushion this? Ultimately, we could chant and we can say that it's a global crisis. But then when you see headlines like Guyana earned how many billions, millions of US dollar, and this is doing so good and that is doing so good,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and then you can't treat your citizens with some sense of decency and dignity. I was hoping for more out of that outreach yesterday.
Correct.
I was looking forward for something more tangible rather than more promises. Because the people of Bartica, the majority of people of Bartica and Region 7, they're tired of promises. They've lived more than half, for those who are of our age, more than half of their lives,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
living in a state that was, their communities were left behind, discriminated because of politics,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
access to educational opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
proper health care services, proper water supply in the homes, the basic things. And we need to get that right. We need to fix that. All these haphazard big announcements. And then, to be honest with you, you don't even really see the follow up on a lot of these things.
Well, that's going to be my job. I think it's going to be my job to make sure that I do the follow up on all of these promises to see, and I'm going to put some timeline to check in every now and again to see what has been delivered and what hasn't. Because I want to remind persons that this visit to Region 7 is coming just after all that was said, particularly about what was happening at Ramadan Secondary School, with the fact that students there in the dorms were being given bare rice to eat throughout the day because they did not have anything else to feed the children. And this is something that I know that I believe that there is some aspect of the trip is going to go up to that area as well. But that is the failure of the system altogether, and that is what they are trying to go now and try to see how much they can mop up with the issues that have been happening thus far. But with all of that, the system, I know that we spoke on this very podcast prior with the chairman of the PTA, none other than Mr. David Daniels, and he is the chairman for the PTA for the entire region. And he was saying very, very distinctly that they brought the matter up. They spoke about the matter. They also spoke about the fact that there are some schools overcrowded. They spoke about the poor furnishing at the schools. They spoke about
Inadequate
all of the
furnishing.
inadequate altogether. They talk about some schools with
Mm-hmm.
leaking roofs and all of that. So these are not things that were not being addressed. These things
Addressed.
were being
Hmm.
brought to the attention for. So for Irfan Alice to go in there now to pretend this is the first time he's ever hearing about these things, and it's the first time he's hearing about the matter, so he's gonna fix them now. No, no, that is not the way. There's a
But
system in
Joetta,
place.
what does it say when the president have to come to a region, a township, to address these minor? Well, it's not minor in terms of who it affects,
Mm-hmm,
but has to micromanage issues like this. What does it say?
mm-hmm. But it's show that's what I was making the point since this morning. That is show
When you
it's
have
an
so many
indictment.
representatives on the ground, and then you have a ministry, and it's the same thing. Guyanese really got good stamina. That's the truth of it. You see the Guyanese that living in Guyana and has been living here for decades, they have patience, they have stamina,
That is correct.
because it is very, very frustrating. Take, for example, when you have to get simple things done and the royal run around.
Oh, that is true. That is true. But the last thing I want to touch on, Kamal, before we wrap up the program today, the last thing I want to talk about is the manner in which the region is being run right now, particularly with the sidelining of office holders such as yourself. I know this is a sore issue altogether, and I know that as the vice chairman of Region Number 7. You have not been afforded much flexibility, even when it comes to traveling to communities within the Middle and Upper Mazaruni. And those things I know that you are very passionate about going out there and meeting the people and making sure that you make representation on their behalf and all of that. And I have been noting through a whole lot of evidence being provided through social media and in the press and so forth, that persons, political appointees of the administration is actually being afforded the leverage to go and to meet with persons on the ground and all of those things. And they have been doing it in a very biased and discriminatory way.
And that comes back to the mismanagement of the resources, the taxpayers' money of this country, and how things are being done.
Mm-hmm. But Kamal, I have to thank you. I know that we are just about there, just about our time on the program today. So I have to thank you tremendously for coming in on such short notice. And
Yes, thank you for bringing me on such short notice. And I was not really prepared to be on the program,
well, you
as your
always look
listeners might
phenomenal.
be very much aware. But I didn't want to decline because it's an opportunity to represent the people of my region, the people of Bartica. And again, like I said, development for one should be development for all.
Mhm.
And if we speak of equality, if we speak of oneness, then every Guyanese, I think there is enough. That is my conviction, that there is enough for every community, for every Guyanese to benefit, for every child, because you do not know from which region, from which town, who we are producing. And as you have been seeing in the past years and months, Guyana has been really producing a lot of rounded young individuals that can really move this country forward, that can go out internationally and represent us and make us proud. And when you deny communities of the basic resources, you're denying and you're suppressing the potential of this country. When you have to bring people from other countries, and when you have your own people that can develop and serve and ensure that we see our country move forward, it's an injustice.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yourself coming out of Bartica, you and I, well, we went to school in different decades. But you and I both know how hard it was to actually get a basic education coming out of Bartica with the lack of resources. And we still managed to prevail. I'm very proud of you, Joretta, for where you are and where you're headed. And you are a perfect example of what I just said. When you deny communities and every area of your country
Mm-hmm.
the basic, you're denying the potential of the country, the human resources to grow.
Mm. Well, thank you so much, Kamal. I continue to do my best as it is right now. But thank you so much for joining us. We are also very proud of the work that you've been doing thus far. You came from being the deputy mayor of Bardica, and now you are the vice chairman of the region. So much more. I know that we're going to be getting from you. So thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure that everyone was very happy to have you here with us today. So we will be talking soon. So take care.
Thank you, Joretta, and thank you to everyone that's listening. And I just want to say it's a privilege to serve and to ensure that I make a mark in my community and my country. Guyana deserves better leadership. Guyana deserves to have people that are more in love with Guyana and the development of Guyana than in love with themselves and what they can do for themselves.
All right. Thank you so
But
much.
moving forward, I know that we will rise. The hands of God is on Guyana. We see it in the resources that Guyana is blessed with. And in times to come, the resources of Guyana will be managed better. But the people of Guyana have to be brave and have to demand that we get better.
And that is so true. I agree with every word that you were
We do
saying.
not elect, we do not want to regress. We do not want to have communities across Guyana that is grossly underdeveloped. We want to see fairness and we want to see every Guyanese treated with some level of decency. Thank you so much. Sharad, thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much, Kamal. I think I'm going to be me wrapping up by myself right now. So have a good one. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, there you had it. None other than the regional vice chairman of region number 7, Miss Kamal Prasad. A very, very outstanding individual. Anyone that knows her knows she is quite an amazing person and she works in the benefit of all that she can. I am seeing, I've been noting some of the comments in the comment section. We have our very own that has been with us for quite some time, coming through as usual. Very miserable today, I must say, but nevertheless, always here. Can't get enough of the program, Guyanese Spectator. So, welcome, welcome to all of you here. Naomi Drucker, how are you doing? And I see it is Andrea Campbell. Hey, Andrea, how are you doing? And I see all of you. Naomi, Sherrod. Sherrod is fighting them. Sherrod has a lot to fight right about now. But guys, it's always a pleasure to be here with you and to give you credible information as always. And I know that to the folks that are joining us from Bartica, I can see the resounding support for every comment that was made by the vice chairman Kamal Prasad, because only Barticians can speak about what is going on there in Bartica, because we have an acute first-hand information of what goes on the ground. So the comments that we spoke about from Hilbert Knights, everyone can agree 100% with what is being said there. And there is no troll anywhere that can overturn the reality on the ground, no matter how much effort is put into that. So very factual as to what is going on in region number 7. And it's an uphill battle, but Bartico will never forget, absolutely never forget where it came from prior to 2015 and the tremendous transformation that happened between 2015 to 2020. It has been quite an uphill task to get to where we are today in region number 7, and we will continue to fight every step of the way to make sure that no one belittles the work that was done throughout those years and that no one comes and make empty promises to the people there. We are not the type to accept empty promises at no point in time. It does not fly well with us, and we will continue to hold persons accountable for every word that comes out of their mouth. So thank you all so much for joining us. It has been an amazing afternoon thus far with you all. And I hope to see you all again. I know I'm going to be joining from ringside this evening in the ring. I see Ian Williams. I see you. And it says, Jerez and Kamal is Patriots Guyanese. So true, very much so. You know, Kamal has an opportunity to go and be anywhere, live anywhere, but she chooses to stay and serve the people of Bartica. Roxanne Garway, I know you're there, resident of Bartica. You know everything that is transpiring there. First-hand information from that point. It has been great. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Yvonne, I see you there. And we'll talk to you later. And I'll meet you up in the comment section. I'll be there this evening at 8 p.m. I hope to see persons like Guyana, Spectator there in the comment section again this evening at 8 p.m. So we'll be able to discuss and have the credible information dispersed. Have a great day, guys. Have a blessed day, all.